high-speed team. They use the revolutionary Wankel Rotary Engine in the back of the 787. It's an ear-shattering howl, and look at that driver lineup.
In the 1960s, Mazda dared to dream differently, while others relied on traditional piston engines. Mazda started from the scratch, developing a revolutionary rotary engine designed by Felix Wankel. Was it a gamble? An unproven technology with potential as unpredictable as the races they would one day compete in. And the team Mazda took the advantage, and they had the trust on it and they worked for it. The Mazda's engineers were relentless, determined to turn their radical idea into a force capable of shaking the world's motorsport stage. Talking about the rotary engine, the project manager Kenichi Yamamoto and the Mazda engineering team poured their hearts into perfecting the rotary engine, driven by an unwavering belief in its potential. The team tirelessly overcame countless challenges, refining every detail until they achieved a breakthrough: revolutionary aluminum carbon composite apex seals. These seals not only enhanced durability, but also unlocked the engine's true performance, turning what was once seen as an experimental concept ready to take on the world. Their innovation became the cornerstone of Mazda's rotary legacy, culminating in the triumph of the 787B at Le Mans. 24 hours of Le Mans' journey to greatness was far from smooth. Year after year, Mazda entered the competition, such as Mazda MC74, chassis powered by 12A rotary engine, but it was unfortunately broke down and they couldn't finish the race. And also the RX-7 Le Mans car didn't even qualify, only to face heartbreak after heartbreak. But in 1984, they had a chance to win a race in a lower class, a car designed by Lola called T616. And this is the only time a rotary engine got a chance to win a race. And then they failed again and again, with the 757, 767 and the 767B. In 1990, the team came up with a new race car called Mazda 787, removing the two-rotor 13B engine with their newly designed 4-rotor R26B engine. But unfortunately, in that year, the team even got a chance to win the race due to mechanical issues. For the 1991 season, they built a machine that embodied everything they had learned, the Mazda 787B. It was powered by one of the most iconic R26B, a 4-rotor 2.6-liter naturally aspirated engine. Back in the 90s, this was the most iconic motorsport engines ever made. The engine had 3 spark plugs per rotor, ceramic apex seals and peripheral intake ports, and featured variable length intake trumpets, which were continuously variable and changed length. The trumpets were moved by electric motors and pulleys controlled by the ECU. Actually, this engine had 900 horsepower up and running, but for the race they have turned it down to 700 horsepower at 9000 rpm and 608 Nm of torque at 6500 rpm. Specifically designed for speed and endurance, wrapped in the iconic orange and green Renault livery, while the aerodynamics tuned for the straights, and it was lightweight, brutally efficient, and ear-piercingly loud. Testament to decades of relentless innovation. And it was the ultimate underdog because no one thought that 2.6 liter naturally aspirated engine gonna completely destroy the 7.4 liter V12 engine with Jaguar and the 5 liter turbo V8 that the Mercedes had. Behind the wheel there were three men who shared Mazda's hunger for victory. Johnny Herbert, a fearless driver with F1 pedigree, Walker, a master of endurance racing, and Bertrand Gachot, whose precision under pressure made them the perfect teammates, set out on 22nd of June in 1991 to rewrite history. Together they formed a team that could not only compete but conquer. On that fateful day in 22nd of June, 24 hours of Le Mans has just begun.
29th running of the Le Mans 24 hours. It's a unique mixture of speed and endurance, an event which is unique in offering.
According to the FISA, decreed that the top 10 grid spots had to be taken by cars in the new class, regardless of their qualifying time, with the Group C cars arranged behind them. The piston engine Group C cars were penalized to carry 100 kg extra ballast, but the rotary engine Mazda was not. But the Mazda had some conflicts regarding this with FIA rule makers. But thanks to the Jackie Eakes, the consultant team manager perfectly did the negotiations with FIA rule makers. The Mazda team played really well. Lightweight 787B started to hunt down big heavy Mercedes, Jags and Porsches with good pace, but Mercedes was on top of the grid in the first 13 hours. After the long night run, number 31 Mercedes faced a gearbox issue. Another car had an accident. Now the Mazda was at the second place, and suddenly noticed that the number 1 Mercedes is going on a slower pace, and the 787B started pushing to its limits. Merc began to overheat issues. And finally, Mazda took the lead. That was unbelievable, and 787B was so competitive. But the Johnny Herbert previously had an horrific accident in 1989, severely damaged his leg, and that time he was not fully recovered. He got too much pain on his ankle, but he managed to keep the pace. Mazda 787B, the Wankel Rotary Engine, outlawed, outscreamed, sound that echoed like a war cry across Le Mans, leaving an indelible mark on motorsport history, stating impossible become reality. With flawless strategy, a car that refused to brake, and drivers who pushed to its limits, the Mazda 787B roared across the finish line as the first and only rotary engine car to win 24 hours of Le Mans. By the end of the race, Herbert was so dehydrated and he was passed out. Emergency had to drag him out of the car and put him into the ambulance. And he didn't even get a chance to stand on the podium. That's the story of Mazda 787B. It was a victory that stunned the world, cementing Mazda's place in motorsport history forever.